Welcome to the Rimworld mod rundown. We'll be taking a quick look at what you can expect to see from Vanilla, Aspirations, Expanded. For starters, you'll need to own the additional workshop content, Vanilla Expanded framework, and Harmony. Whilst not required, this mod does have interactions with Royalty, Ideology, Biotech, and Anomaly, with Biotech adding additional core mechanics. There are also numerous additional interactions if you're using other mods from the Vanilla Expanded family. A super straightforward VE mod today that will undoubtedly get more mileage if you're using a chunk of extra workshop content and own all of the official DLC too. There really isn't much to show off visually with this mod, so apologies if this is mainly B-roll with an audio description. Aspirations Expanded adds a new bar in a colonist's need tab, named Fulfillment. This is similar to the Sims mechanics of wants and fears, giving you goals to aim towards for each individual colonist. Depending on if you have the Biotech DLC installed or not will determine the effects of completing your pawn's aspirations. If you're not using it, each completed aspiration reduces the mental break threshold by 3%. If you don't know how the threshold for mental breaks works,
and at this point I'm too afraid to ask.
Quickly compare a colonist that has a trait like very neurotic to a pawn with basic traits, then to a pawn with steadfast. You'll see that the notches on the steadfast pawn are bunched up towards the low end, whereas the neurotic pawns are spread widely, but reach practically halfway up the mood bar. This means that, despite the language around it, pawns with a high mental break threshold are actually more likely to break. Positive values in this threshold are bad, as they'll hover around their minor or even major break risk far more frequently, whereas a pawn that has a very low mental break threshold is a lot more sure of themselves, with the problem then becoming that the difference between a minor, major or extreme break for them is only going to be a few points of mood apart, making something as simple as being in a dark room potentially tip them from being in range of rolling a sad wander to an extreme break, like Berserk instead.
Go crazy?
Don't mind if I do!
Anyway, enough mechanics, we're here for mods. So you're earning a mental break threshold buff of -3% per completed aspiration in base game. With Biotech installed, you also get a growth moment when you've completed 4 of the individual pawn's aspirations and maxed their bar. This growth moment operates like the best version of a child's when they're developing, offering you the opportunity to increase 3 passions from a selection of 6 skills and to add 1 new trait from a pool of 6 potentials. On the topic of children, they won't unlock aspirations until they hit 13 years old, at which point they'll have finished all of their normal potential growth moments, offering you the opportunity to make kids extremely powerful by achieving their goals. So what aspirations do we have to work towards then? This is obviously the current list at time of recording, which is still pretty close to release, and the framework is there for other mods to easily add more. Of course, the mod itself may be updated at some point with additional aspirations, or to even remove some of these listed if the community complains loudly enough and the team get fed up of dealing with constant bitching.
I don't know Biotech. Why doesn't this race mod work?
This doesn't work with my other 800 mods.
What do you mean send a log?
Why no 1.4 support?
God, shut up! Everyone just shut the up!
I'll break them down DLC by DLC too, so you know what you're getting. With Vanilla, you have the aspirations to get married, propose, get some lovin', take luciferium, snort yayo, eat human meat, overdose on drugs, get blackout drunk, become lovers with a beautiful pawn, grow old, get joy wired, install a bionic spine, become inspired, create a legendary piece of work, max a skill, equip legendary gear, bond with an animal, be rich, murder someone, be liked, be disliked, experience catharsis, defeat a faction leader, have a very impressive bedroom, see an aurora, go full cyberpunk and install 6 artificial body parts, have a rival die, burn some luciferium, die and be resurrected, which I understand wanting the first part, fix their asthma, cure their cataracts, remove their hearing loss, be disfigured with 5 different burn scars, hit the highest amount of pain possible, shred a centipede blaster corpse at the machining table, destroy an insect hive, use an incendiary weapon, and read an awesome book that increases a skill that they're passionate about. Now, a quick note before we move on to the other aspirations from different sources. you can probably see why certain mods will seriously help you with achieving some of these. For instance, Grow Old requires a pawn to hit 65. If your 13-year-old colonist rolls this, chances are that it just ain't gonna happen anytime soon. So things like Psycast Expanded with the Chronopath will open up the opportunity for you to dramatically shift their age, before slamming it in reverse and making them useful again. Some of these are also easier to achieve if you own the official DLC too. Things like having a beautiful lover are simple when you've got access to high mates, or crafting legendary works if you have access to the production specialist from Ideology. Sometimes you'll get super easy aspirations to achieve. Be liked, be disliked, catharsis, and the bedroom for example. Other times you might roll a horrific combo. So let's see what the DLC throws into the mix. Royalty adds the desire to link with the animatree. Hear the animatree scream, earn a noble title, use a persona weapon, attend a successful throne speech, hold a concert, defeat a mech cluster, and achieve level 5 in psycasting. Ideology adds in wanting to take an ideological role, wanting to be the leader of an ideology, or to connect with the Garanlan tree. Biotech adds in the desire to become a parent, or even a grandparent, form a psychic bond with a high mate, become a sanguiphage, or become a mechanator. And Anomaly throws in wanting to learn to shape flesh, become totally inhuman, graft a tentacle onto their body, be digested by a devourer, play with the golden cube, or read a high quality Eldritch tome. Most of the additions from the DLCs have a much greater demand in terms of time or colony investment to achieve. Of course, once one aspiration has been fulfilled, it doesn't need to be maintained. So if you have 6 people in the colony that all want to be an ideological role, you can quite easily juggle the moral guide position between them for a day and then ride out the negative mood afterwards. Some are definitely not created equal though. Becoming a grandparent is a huge time investment, compared to simply hacking down the animatree. It will grow back, so don't worry. As for supported DLC, at time of recording you can use it with tribal factions for unlocking a cornerstone, Archons for becoming transcendent, vehicles for driving a classic car, fungoids for becoming a fungoid, which is a nightmare, androids for wanting to fall in love with a toaster, Empire for gaining the rank of consul and also for drinking aperitif, royal animals for becoming bonded with one of them, classical for wanting to take opium, so enjoy your addiction, pirates for becoming entombed in a war casket, genetics for botching a creation and then nuzzling the flesh monstrosity that it created, deserters for joining the cause and also using a declassifier, and finally ancients for gaining your first superpower. That's a lot of potential options, with great little mini goals to work towards for your colony. If you've ever found yourself somewhat rudderless towards the end of year 2, when you've got your production, storage, food, bedrooms and security set up to a reasonable quality, these are the things that you can aim for in between upgrading those rooms and researching better gear, making it easier to support your late game colony because you've lowered the risks of mental breaks and potentially given everybody a boost to their passions and traits. Also, don't worry about any incompatibilities with traits and what pawns desire. A teetotaler isn't going to want to take drugs or get blackout drunk. Someone without asthma won't ask you to cure it, you get the idea. This also doesn't hinder performance as it's only adding these aspirations to your colony pawns, so you don't have to worry about raids of 100 tribals turning up and all needing to have these rolled. It just doesn't work that way. An important note though, if you are using androids, they're not going to have aspirations. A lot of their interactions are kind of balked, given the list of potentials and how differently they can behave. Thanks for watching folks. If you have any mods you'd like to see a full breakdown for or suggestions of mods you'd like to see covered, feel free to leave them in the comments, I might get around to them. I'll be back again soon with another Rimworld mod rundown. Wherever you are in the world, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon or evening. Take care.